In the beginning, this
Yawn. Just
yeah,
kidding.
the jungles of Chult were inhabited by little more than cavemen, he says with disdain. Squat, heavy-browed humanoids wielding crude stone weapons and worshipping lizard-headed gods, and he waves dismissively. Until we arrived, those of us who we call Cynidicians, tall, black-haired people, and we battled those cavemen and took over their hunting grounds. With time, we established a village here at the foot of the peaks of flame and pushed back the jungle and cultivated the land. After many years, a great leader arose among us and destroyed the enemy army of the snake-headed humanoids. You would know them as Yuan-Ti. Vile creatures they are. He spits on the floor. And they're foul snake gods. He says, that great leader was crowned the king, thus founding the line of the rulers of Cynidicea. He says, within hundreds of years passed, and the stone city of Cynidicea was built upon the site of the village. The kingdom had a great deal of splendor during this time. We built stone structures, we pushed back the jungles, we fought dinosaurs, snake people, and worse, and we flourished. He says that then King Alexander and Queen Zenobia were born, rose to power, and brought about a golden age for Cynidicea, and that is when we built these great pyramids that you're in now. He says that during their reign, King Alexander and Queen Zenobia brought in the worship of the old gods, Gorm the Mighty, Matarua, the Keeper of the Seasons, Watcher of the Fields, and Usamigarus, who I serve, the trickster deity, he who makes merry. And he says, as the years passed, we held a carnival, one day every year for each of the three gods, and things were good for hundreds of years, maybe even 1,000 years. Then
Skype went down.
did I lose Skype? I can
No,
still
you're
hear
in it.
Did
I
we
can
lose?
hear you.
Sean. It's okay.
Sean. As time went by, the people became lax. Well, not lax, more fervent in their worship. They worshipped Gorm and Matarua and Usamigarus and began to wonder, why do we limit ourselves to one day out of the year? Why not celebrate more? So the day became a week of revelry. 3 weeks out of the year were spent for one for each of the deities. Then the nightmare began. We started having bad dreams that plagued us. At first, they were just bad dreams. But we started comparing notes and seeing that many of us were having the same bad dreams and that it became a plague. And we started experimenting with hallucinogenics to try and stave off the nightmare, which worked. But it had the unfortunate side effect of the week of celebration became a month of celebration, the month became a quarter, and the quarter became year-long, where the populace just drugged themselves to stave off the nightmare, and the fields laid barren, and the animals ran wild, and eventually our kingdom fell into ruin. About 100 years ago, there was a schism within my religion, the Magi of Usamigarus, and a man named Jadamu, put that in the chat log for you, formed his own faction within my religion. He said that we should only make merry, we should only have fun. I said we need to reestablish the three gods and reclaim our territory here in the jungles of Chult. He says about 50 years ago, after war broke out between my faction and his, he escaped, fleeing into the Feywild by opening a portal. I would have you go through this portal, find Jadamu, and put a stop to him before he causes any further harm.
Well, I could see how that would explain some things that we've noticed. We've met the followers of Madarua and Gorm.
I'm sure they knew
are-
nothing of the histories. They
No,
serve in their
pretty
way.
Much, they're a generational people now. They know nothing more than they've never been outside the temple, pretty much.
Such is their way. They are not record keepers and lovers of lore like we are. We stave off the nightmare, it's true. We have to. But we still have a love of lore.